Hello friends, thank you so much for joining me today. We are doing a high-end Shop My Stash. I've got this little bag just crammed full of things that I have gone through my collection and found, and I feel like a lot of times I'm drawn to maybe doing this type of video in a drugstore mode or just a lot of drugstore content in general. Let's face it, that's kind of my pull inside, but yet I also love all makeup and I also get great enjoyment out of using the products I have. In fact, the other day I was watching like somebody's Sephora haul and they just made everything look so good, and I was like, I want some new makeup. And then I was like, you know, you got the makeup, just use what you have. So the theme for this look is going to be kind of a bronzy transformation. I feel like here I am in early March and my skin could use a complete and total boost, you know, so we're going to get that from the makeup today. My bag is so full I got to take some things out. It is thundering outside right now. It's been a very rainy couple of days. In fact, yesterday I had to pick up a dress for Belle because she's got her spring sing tonight, and yeah, I haven't actually like been able to leave the house and go do something. I had all 3 kids healthy in school yesterday, and so I went to pick up this dress from Kohl's that she wanted, and as I'm leaving the house, and you guys know I'm very conscious of the weather most of the time, but I'm about to leave the house, I look out the window and I'm thinking, it looks eerily dark outside, and I look at the radar and I thought, I think I can make it where I need to go before it starts raining, and then maybe this little storm cluster will pass while I'm there. You know, looking at the future cast, it looked like it should pass and then I would be smooth sailing on the way back. It almost worked. The rain hit when I was in the parking lot and it was like pea-sized hail and wind, and here I am just sitting in my car like, ah! And then finally it died down enough so I could go on into Kohl's. But my strategy did work because it continued raining while I was in there, and then when I came out it was over. But I've got my skincare on. We're going to start off with a primer. It's going to be the actual Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter, which I have in the shade 2. I don't reach for this much because I reach for the drugstore alternatives, but I do have this. It smells fine, so I'm gonna keep using it. I've had it for a while. I feel like I'm just being absolutely reckless with the swiping of this though. What is going on? I'm gonna take this e.l.f. Smooth Swipe foundation brush, just really wide. And it's gonna really spread this product out nicely for me. Look at that, pretty glow. Undeniably nice glow. It's just, I feel like the drugstore has really caught up to that one. Like, I love the Rimmel Multitasker. It's kind of like this. But it looks good, and that's going to be my priming step today. Then for foundation, how about this? Is this still even being sold? Patrick Ta for face. It says Cream Foundation and Finishing Powder Duo, Light 4. So it has the foundation and the powder. Probably going to do the cream foundation and then do my concealer steps, and then I'll use that powder. I actually want to check and see if it's still a thing. Yes, it looks like it is still a thing. So you do have this nice little protective cap. I appreciate the packaging. It feels very luxurious. My cream feels awfully creamy still, you know, so I'm going to dab that around. I think I can go straight in with a little brush here, and my brush is just going to patch it around on my skin, and then I'll blend it, okay? Gosh, I haven't used this in a while. The foundation has been patched, and now I'm going to use this little Profusion buffing brush to get her all worked in. I even forget the coverage level I should expect to achieve from this. I think it's about a medium. But I do have that extra bit of glow because of the Charlotte Tilbury that's underneath. Okay, I'm blended in. My skin looks positively juicy right now, and it feels that way too. I would say a solid medium coverage. The tone seems pretty decent for my skin tone. Then I got a corrector out. This is from Charlotte Tilbury. The thing about Patrick Ta is you have anything on your fingers and you make such a mess of the compact. But I have this little corrector in the shade 1, Fair, this little guy. And I thought I could use some of that to like brighten up my inner corner. That might be good. Maybe also a little outer corner, why not? Yes. Then my Tap and Blend concealer brush from e.l.f. Let's see how this does. This is like a little less brightening of a shade compared to my e.l.f. Putty color correcting eye brightener. Really get in there. But it does a pretty good job. And it's not like a heavy cream. It's got a little moisture in it, which moisture seems to be the name of the game with this look right now. But yeah. That did fine. And then the concealer I pulled out is my Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. I have this in the shade Cream Puff. In the past, I had it in Nude, and then I think I realized that's not brightening enough for me, so I more recently ended up with Cream Puff. I do love this concealer. I think this wears very, very well all day. I'm going to put a little bit of it down here, and then right out here. We'll hit around the nose because I feel like I could use a little gentle redness coverage there. I kind of like how big the tube is. And then I'm going to take this brush and spread it around. Coverage is always really pretty with this. I do have several high-end concealers that I should just be pulling into the rotation more. And this is one of them. I haven't fully blended. I'm just making them take up more space. And I'm going to end up feeling like I really do have full coverage in those areas. Then we can bop back in with what we used for foundation. That's our Profusion buffing brush. And look at that. So even. I feel like we're getting such a good base going for this look. I oftentimes feel it's so hard to argue with drugstore because not only have I uncovered so many products that are excellent quality, but they also wear really well on me too. So it's like I don't even have a staying power concern on my hands. I'm just happy with the stuff. Then you try this and you're reminded, yeah, that does look good too. Okay, so I've got my creamy coverage-oriented things on. And then I've got a couple of powders. The one that's part of the Patrick Ta Compact, and then also this specifically for under eye. It's the Secret Brightening Under Eye Setting Powder from Laura Mercier. I remember talking about this in a video, but then not going on and using it a whole lot. But this is the soft pink shade. The brush that they provided when this came in PR was this little guy here. Very, very flat, very like, I don't know, unusually flat. I feel kind of funny about it flat. I would rather, honestly, just take a little triangle puff because it's really going to do the same thing that a flat brush is going to do. It's not going to buff, you know, it's not going to be extra large, but it's just going to target that powder in at the under eye. And then I can dust away if there's any excess. I might just put it around the nose because that's my way, you know. That's just my vibe. It feels smooth. It feels set there, but I want to get the sides of the nose a little bit more just because I know what happens to my face throughout the day. I'll get down in here too. Okay, there's that thunder again. And then I'm gonna dust away any excess. T-zone under eye area is covered. And it looks good. It looks really smooth, but it doesn't look heavy. Then we're gonna grab out the Patrick Ta Compact again and hit up this as like an all-over face powder. By the way, I did my nails. You can tell I'm coming back to life. I did my nails yesterday. That is an LA Colors gel polish. I think the shade is called Lingerie. It's their mauve-y color. I was in a cute like burgundy set yesterday and I thought this nail color actually looked very nice with it. Okay, taking a little fluffier brush. This is one of my Monge brushes. And I think I finally did find the proper link for the set that I have, and I'm gonna just go all over the face with that. I feel gently set. I honestly feel just a little tacky, but I don't think I want to put on the amount of powder that would take me away from that, and I still will have like a couple of powders yet to come with blush and bronzer. But first we're going to do a cream bronzer because I haven't used this thing in a while. This is from Too Faced. It's called the Melting Bronzing and Sculpting Stick, and the shade is Chocolate Souffle. And as I recall, it smelled good. It still smells good. Okay, we're going to glide it on. Nice and creamy. Glide it here, glide it there. A little bit down there. It's a rich shade. It's also one of those sticks that I have to encourage to go back down. Isn't that annoying when you have a stick like that? Whether it's a lip balm or a cream blush or a concealer or something, and it's like you have to encourage it to go back down into the thing. Sephora 56. This is where our bronzy transformation is going to begin, I think, because I knew this was going to be rich. And then I grabbed a powder bronzer as well. Been using my electric kettle a lot and just making hot water with lemon and letting that be my drink of choice to just sip on. It's good. It's soothing. Here we are. Here, this is blending fine. This stick contains a lot of moisture and it's continued to have a lot of moisture even with me having it in my collection for a while. When I was up here yesterday choosing products, I also decluttered a number of things that I just felt were old. No blending struggle at all, and that looks good. That tone coming in. Really want it to become nice and cohesive with the forehead. Lightening in your area. Okay, look at that. Just my blending really just consists of dabbing over it. Dab, dab, dab. There is no issue with the powder that has been put on there. There's no trouble. Yeah, I feel really good about the way the cheekbones are looking now. This is the bronzer I grabbed. It's my Bobbi Brown bronzing powder, and the shade is called Dark. And I remember getting this because I thought, oh, that's a special kind of shade of bronzer. Can you tell there's some like rosiness in there? I'm gonna take this end. I should have used this for my cream just now, but my e.l.f. cream and powder face brush. I'm gonna take that. I know it's pigmented, so I'm tapping off a little bit on my hand. And I'm just gonna go over like the high points of my face with this. This is a matte powder, but I feel like it's gonna make me look realistically sunny. I'm taking a little bit at a time. I keep just grabbing a little more, because it can be hard with bronzer. We don't want too much, and we don't want it looking patchy, but I'm gonna put this on almost like blush mode. It practically looks a little bit blushy, just that tone. Yeah, this is good, and there's just something different about this bronzer. Make it seem real. It's the goal always, right? Camera is washing me out ever so slightly, just due to the lighting in the room, but just seeing my own face in front here, I can tell I've been bronzed substantially this morning. Just kind of starting to use this with some abandon now and just taking it tops of the cheeks, giving my skin tone a gentle boost. Did you grab some blushes in? Yes, 2 in fact. Felt very pulled in by these. I just love this packaging. I love a blush compact that echoes the shade of what's inside. Wow, what a match for my nails there. I got my Too Faced Cloud Crush Velvet Crush. That was the first one that I bought when these came out. And then I happened to get a few more in PR, and one of those ended up being Golden Hour. And Golden Hour, I feel like it always looks a little more pinky than the outer packaging makes you think it's gonna be, but I feel like that's gonna be a great little pop in here, whereas this one can be like kind of the majority of my blush area, this Dusty Rose. And that's gonna be e.l.f. Blush Brush. Starting way back here, letting it just trickle forward a little. Love it. Something about the placement of the contour, the tone of the contour, also the bronze, and now this blush. Like, that cheek is just looking so good. It's just fun to appreciate all your makeup. And to think, I almost got on the website and bought some stuff. No, just actually enjoy what you have. That shade is so perfect for what I'm going for in this look. Yay. And then, like I said, take this friend. This is a little brighter, just a little bit. Outer apple of the cheek pop. That's the one that makes you think maybe she's just actually been touched by the sun. Even though it's drizzly, it's rainy, it's March coming in like a lion vibes outside. At least it's not severe. Even what we had yesterday is I was in my car just rocking a little bit with the wind and feeling pea-sized hail hit the car. We were not under any kind of warning. So here we are. There's the face. I do have a highlighter. I pulled out Rare Beauty, this little nugget, this little satisfying in the hand nugget. This is the shade Enlighten in the highlighter, and I feel like I've used a fair amount of that. I've kind of gone into that very softly pressed dome. I'm gonna use my Real Techniques setting brush. There's a little flake. Like I said, it's soft. But I'm going to hit right in here, precisely right in here. Not too much. Gotta be mindful of the highlight. We can't just bathe in highlight. I don't like to lay out makeup rules at all. I feel a problem. I feel an issue in my soul when I watch a makeup video that feels too, you must do it this way, this way, this, the vibe of do's and don'ts. I don't enjoy that. However, for my personal self, I can't just bathe in highlighter. I have to put it where it counts and where it actually is gonna look good and make it somewhat pinpointed, like right in there. This side of my face is just extremely well lit, so it's hard to make highlighter pop, but we did it. It looks good. Look of health, look of color, looking alive. Not only am I using a forgotten product here, but I completely forgot initially when I grouped my stuff together to choose something out for brows. And what about this? This is from Benefit. It's called Precisely My Brow Detailer. It's like a nano pencil. Where have you been hiding? Shade 4. Okay. Yeah, it's like my CoverGirl Clean Fresh Nano. I should be using this a lot. Filling in, it can look hair-like. It feels softer and darker than the Nano, so maybe I gotta watch it a little more. It was right there in my drawer, and I don't feel like I'm even overloaded with brow stuff right now. But I think maybe I've laid eyes on it and just thought it was the other pencil, thought it was the Precisely My Brow pencil, but it's just like a little smaller than that, a little shorter. We've got spring break coming up this next week. So like this will go up on Saturday, and then the week following that we're off. But at the end of the week we have a trip to Chicago area for cheer. So we're probably just gonna spend kind of a low-key week at home, which is honestly exactly what this whole family needs. A low-key, healthy week, just playing and going to the library and playing outside and doing fun, carefree things. I went kind of above the brow. Like, this is softer, okay? I do generally fill in there, but I can't apply the same pressure that I do with the CoverGirl. I've got to be gentler with this. Thunder in the Distance is the best. I love that sound. Not the hard crashing thunder that you feel like happened directly above your house and only your house, but the thunder that's off in the distance, softly heard. 5 minutes from now it will feel like it's directly on top of my house. Okay. I do appreciate the spoolie, especially with a product like this. Just repair it a little bit there. I think I'm good. I think. So yeah, that's what that looks like. It's just a little shorter than the Precisely My Brow pencil. Again, it's called Precisely My Brow Detailer. And then I also have this from Benefit, the Precisely My Brow Wax, which I do reach for this more, I guess. Shade 4. The brush is definitely bigger than the Gimme Brow, and as you can see, it does have a little bit longer bristles on the one side, kind of with the vibe of Maybelline Brow Fast Sculpt, but I'm just going to use that to set. Really not crawling with excess brow products or mascaras. Like, I really thought I was aware of everything I had, and then, oh, that little one snuck in there. For eyeshadow primer, I do have a little mini Urban Decay primer potion, so I'm going to use that. This came in some kind of sample bag not that long ago. Feels a lot like Milani, maybe a little less moisture than Milani. All over the lid. I'm also in a big baked potato mode. Do you guys realize the amount of nutrients in the skin of a potato? It's fascinating. Google it, look it up. But I've got like this bag of potatoes, which those are dirt cheap. And then making like a taco potato, so then you're adding protein to it. Dump on some taco meat, little cheese, little sour cream. It's wonderful. Make a little broccoli cheese potato. Like, you want to add the toppings with some level of control, kind of like the control you would apply a highlight with your face. You want to be mindful with the cheese you put on it, but I'll just do one in the microwave for me. And like last night, I felt so good. We had salad Mom made me randomly. I love when she surprises me with one of her 7-layer salads. So we had some of that. I'd made some chicken, baked potato on the side, like a dang steakhouse up in here. I've got that on. I feel like it didn't spread real far. It just, I don't know. And then this is the palette I pulled out that I thought would fall perfectly in line with the bronzy look I'm creating. It's the Huda Empowered palette. And this is not on Sephora, but it is on Kohl's, and it's on Huda's website. But look at that. You know, haven't used it in a while and need to use it. It's gonna fall into the warmth we wanna be using real nicely. I'm gonna use this shade called Get It right over here. Get it, get it. This rich peach. There's also like softer peachy, yellowy peachy shades next to it. This is going to go into our crease, and I am not going to hesitate to let it rise up and really show itself beyond the crease in a soft way. See, like that. Huda shadows are quite nice to work with. I actually adore her mattes. I'm being reminded of that right now. I'm getting such an even color there. That looks good. Same thing over here. But when you're thinking about a bronzy look, I feel like the eye can play into that so much with what you choose to do. Early March seems like a good time to try to bring back some bronze. Yes, a little more. So it really looks straight up orangey now. Then I'm going to take the color called Power right here, so we're seeing softer peach, and that will come up on the edge gently. Woo, good. Very pleased. It's making it really stay looking nice and soft. I want to increase the depth in my outer corner, so I'm going to go right here to Legacy, Deep Rust. Still with that same brush. I've only used one brush so far. Really just hitting that outer corner. See how it's just a little darker now than over there? One of the things I like about this palette is it does kind of combine warm and cool. So you can get kind of smoky with it in close to the eye, and then everything can sort of fizzle outward with this pretty warmth. So this is just setting the stage. I think I like the way that's looking. That color is almost just a little deep for me to want to use this brush with it, but we'll make that go. Now we do have a couple of creams in here. Cream here, cream here. Also this shade is kind of like, does anybody remember this? Like what this looked like when it was new? You have this sort of transparent gel river going through, and then on each side, if you pick up some of that powder, you end up with a really like foiled shiny kind of thing. So they played with texture in here quite a bit, and then we have sparkle that's just wow, really loud. I'm dipping into a little bit of this shade called Worthy, this kind of plum. It might have even been designed to be a liner. What if some of that just kind of did a dark outer corner base for us? Gently, gently, because I can tell it's not going to want to spread far, so that's why I'm not laying down a whole big bunch. Let's use Confident right here. That's almost going to be like a match for that shade, just a little lighter, more brownish. Let's pat that on the outer part. Let that brush reach the crease. There we go, that's looking good. I'm going to come in with the small pointed brush and work that around a little more. But we're just getting it laid down here in the outer corner. See what I mean about that being so cool looking, like side by side with the warmth? Then a little more of the same shade, and just make sure you're hitting the depths of your crease. And just work it around how you see fit. Do you want to see it come inward more? Do what you want to do. I feel like that's looking really good. Really good, combining with that rust, sinking into the crease. Maybe we go dark inward too, and let one of these wildly shimmery shades be the center of the lid pop. What do you think? For example, this shade right here, this is really pretty. This one called Courageous. I just swatched some of that on my finger. Like, it's got some shimmer, but it's got richness too. What if I use that shade? Pick it up on my large flat brush. Hope I don't regret this. And I'm going to start patting it on the inner part of my lid, like this. Heck, I could even fill the gap with it, and the shimmers in this palette would be strong enough to overlap it. But I'm working it in there. And then I'll bring in my small pointed again, but just something a little different. It really has the potential to be quite dark though. Okay, nothing really added to this brush. Small pointed brush. Whatever shadow has come up, I'm just going to try to blend it back and forth in my crease. I feel like I've gotten really dark in here. Sorry, I got to see this one up close. So as far as the crease goes, I'm getting it on a smaller brush, and I'm going back, forth, all over the crease and a little above. Then what I think that needs is a little bit of a warm color, like maybe a little bit of that, right up above it, slash slightly overlapping it, just to make it make more sense. Because, you know, we weren't initially thinking we'd go that dark there, but now we are. So it needs something to kind of run into. I'm taking just a light color and helping that not be so dark. I'm just overlapping with a small brush. Then I'm thinking this shade right here called Do It. I don't know why I just went in with my finger. I could use a brush with it. Ooh, look at that kind of coppery glow. Just right on the center of the lid. Remember, it's a bronzy vibe. I'm not really going gold. I'm not going champagne. I'm going bronze. Center of my lid. And I can blend to each side a little bit. That's going to be good there. Right in the middle. Looks good. I think it's looking good. I'm then going to take a little bit of that black shade that I think could be used as liner. This is a little Real Techniques brush. And I'm going to apply that along my upper lash line here. So this is just a real pinpointed little brush that comes in an eye set. And that's working real nice. I haven't used cream liner in a long time. There we go. This is so creamy. I just kind of stirred it into this for a second and absolutely no trouble using this. Need to pat ever so slightly with that shade. Need a little bit more of it to come in. I'm just not fully content yet. Like, I wanted it to be dark here, but it's never easy when the shade is actually decently dark. I wanted it to be darker here, but it's just kind of hard. Haven't even thought about under the eye, but I think I'm going to go to this shade. Confident again. Oh, I like holding my palette like a book. That's nice for the mirror usage. We need some smokiness here just to balance out the drama up top. You feel me? I think I want more boldness in the outer corner, so I'm once again using Confident. Just seeing the whole picture of the eye, I feel like we need to make more of it. I really love this color so much, this kind of earthy, really dark plum. Okay, I just took a picture of the eye look looking down. Sometimes I have to do that to really see how is it actually looking. It looks good. Now, I've been really good about all the mascaras I have are mascaras I'm using, but the one I've used least recently has probably been this Estee Lauder Sumptuous Extreme Lash Multiplying Volume Mascara. I got it in a Christmas set, so I'm gonna curl my lashes well and use that, and probably still use some e.l.f. lash extender on the lower lashes, because I want some fringe down there, but I need to know it's not gonna smudge. You hear that rain and thunder outside, right? You might say, well, what about the upper lashes, Em? Well, I just feel like I can get by with regular up there, but it's my lower lashes that are actually fairly long and are gonna maybe come in contact with the skin below. That's my staying power trouble zone on eyes. Under. Big old brush. We're gonna coat that up. Look at that, that's looking nice. I'm not absolutely nuts about it, but I think we'll be able to build this to a point where we're happy. Have I talked about on here that I got a craft cart? I got a little inexpensive cart on wheels from Walmart, and this is what I'm going to do this weekend. I am going to make sure it has lots of paint, paper, and maybe some glitter, and just different crafty things. And I'm picturing myself just putting a disposable tablecloth on the kitchen floor and just letting the kids do what they want to do, you know? And we'll do crafty things and more in the confines of like coloring and maybe a craft kit, but I want to open the door for a little more creativity, because when they were making their like Valentine's boxes, they loved that stuff. They love getting out the little paint brushes and spongy things and doing stuff like that. So that's something I'm going to put together for them this weekend. And Walmart and even at Dollar Tree, you know, there's tons of craft supplies. Couple coats up top. Not in love, but it'll do. And then some lash extender on the bottom. Finally, for lips here, I've got a few things. I felt like this shade from NARS would be perfect. This is one of the Afterglow lipsticks, and the shade is Devotion. I feel like it's going to be the perfect tone. If you see it on here, like it's going to echo the shirt, the eyes. Like, yes, it's shiny. It feels shiny and balmy. But then pull in a deeper liner. This is Limitless Brown from Makeup Forever. Okay, I can draw on top of it. Somebody asked me on a short video, like, why do you do sometimes the liner second? And this is a time where I don't want the shade of my liner to overtake the look. I just am using it in cleanup mode, kind of. So you see how I'm doing it here? Adding a little. I like that. And then I have a light gloss. This is M Cosmetics Everglass Lip Dew, and the shade is Lullaby. Let's see if we like this. It's kind of a true nudie gloss, creamy. The lip color itself, the lipstick gave a lot of shine, but this is going to give even more. Go all over everything. Boosting those lashes up a little more, but that is my look, friends. I feel like it kind of took me a while. I fiddled with the eye quite a bit, but ultimately I'm happy with how it turned out. But that's sometimes what you do when you're experimenting and you're trying different things, different shadows in different places. But ultimately I like the gentle bronzy glow on the center of the lid. That's what I wanted to go for. I've got depth along the lash line, which I like, and overall bronziness to the skin. I feel like I kind of pointed out along the way maybe some different products that reminded me of this or that I used today. But ultimately my message message is just using what you have. Sometimes the urge to do a haul isn't all about like this certain thing that you really feel is going to truly benefit you, but it's about like just kind of wanting something new and fun. And there are plenty of times where you can look at what you have and actually generate something new and fun. It's the same feeling. So thank you all so very much for your time today. I hope you enjoyed this video. The standouts for me, by the way, the stuff I really enjoyed seeing back in action, enjoyed my Too Faced concealer, and actually this little secret brightening powder in the light pink, I thought did a phenomenal job setting there. So I really like those. The Velvet Crush shade of this blush was perfect for what I was going for today. And yeah, I had fun with the eyeshadow too. I'm always gonna have fun like pulling in a forgotten eye palette. So thank you so much, friends. I will talk to you again next time. I love you. Bye.